when she at her convention. She
I'm not talking about Hillary. I'm talking about Donald
terrorism.
Trump. President Trump said he didn't.
That's why he's the president.
He didn't think white nationalism was a growing threat around the world, and I'm asking.
He does think it's a threat, and there's no question it's a threat.
He does think it's a threat.
Yes, of course he thinks it's a threat. That's
well,
why
he said he
condemned it in no uncertain terms. And
he said
about
6 weeks ago, I don't really think it's a threat.
No, they were saying a growing threat, but it is a threat. And
is it a growing
threat? It's horrible wherever it is, and it should be driven out. And people like Heather Heyer's murderer should be brought to justice, and indeed he was, and good. May he never see the light of day again. Let me make that unequivocal. But for Joe Biden, who's been in public life, who was elected at 29, to come out and have no vision, no accountability for the Obama-Biden record, didn't even mention President Obama, but mentions Charlottesville to try to use that for political purposes.
President Trump said he thought his response to Charlottesville was perfect. Gary Cohn, Lindsey Graham, Tim Scott, Cory Gardner, all loyal to President Trump.
You still want to talk about that because you want to pretend, respectfully.
You keep bringing up Charlottesville.
No, I didn't. You want to pretend. No, I was very happy on Friday or Thursday or Friday.
You brought up Charlottesville.
No,
I did not.
I was very happy on Thursday or Friday that you finally came out and said he wasn't talking about.
It's not finally. I've been saying it from the whole time.
But we're talking about white supremacy. We're talking about neo-Nazis. We're talking about President.
Was President Trump's response on Charlottesville perfect?
But I'm also talking about hate everywhere.
Was his response perfect? Yes or no?
I think it was twisted for many years.
Was his response?
Purposes.
He said his response on Charlottesville was perfect.
Because intent matters, and he was talking about.
Was his response perfect? Gary Cohn doesn't think his response was perfect. Do you think
Gary Cohn stayed in the White House for many months after that?
But he almost resigned.
I think the president.
Do you think? It's a very simple question.
No, it's not a simple question.
Yes or no? Was President Trump's response perfect?
When President Trump condemned racism, bigotry, evil, violence, and then took it many steps further and called out neo-Nazis, white supremacists,
was
KKK.
His response perfect?
That is darn near perfection. When you're calling when you're calling out KKK, neo-Nazis, and you're saying there were people there who hadn't signed up for that. There were people there.
You know that President Trump left enough ambiguity.
All neo-Nazis, all anti-Christianity, all anti-Semitism, all anti-Muslim activity should be condemned. Dead stop full. That's the perfect response.
Anti-Muslim activities. The president called for a full ban on Muslims entering the United States.
It looks like you and others looking at 2020 are worried that this guy can't be beaten fairly and squarely. Why does Joe Biden come out and not say one thing about his Senate race? No, it's not beneath
that comment is beneath you.
Why would Joe Biden bring that up? Why is he using Charlottesville to launch a candidacy as somebody who was in the Senate for decades, who was vice president for 8 years, who's 0 for 2 running for president while Donald Trump is 1 for 1?
Was perfect.
I think that we're going to move on because I've talked a lot about white supremacy, neo-Nazi, KKK, and this president's denouncement.
It's just a yes or no question.
But see, how is this helping to stop the next shooter? This entire conversation where I'm saying the president of the United States, the most powerful man in the world.
His response last night was unambiguous and clear.
He said hate crime before he even got on the plane to Wisconsin.
Unequivocal. His response to Charlottesville, according to Lindsey Graham, Tim Scott, Cory Gardner, Gary Cohn,
all of whom worked with him after that,
was not unequivocal. Because you brought it up, so I'm pointing it out. These loyal supporters of the president did not think his answer on Charlottesville was perfect.
I think any time a president is willing to condemn people who hate other people based on their race or their religion, it's a great day for America, and that's what he did, and he did it several times.
The president called for a ban on all Muslims entering the United States.
So you want to revisit all of that? I want to
revisit a proposal offered by the president?
No, because you don't want to talk about things that are going to help this president get reelected, like the strong economy.
Let's talk about the economy. Let's talk about the economy.
Even they get people in